Okay, I've got Old Spicy on. And sometimes my friend convinces me that I'm making a mistake. My friend is um, very extraordinary, very well read in many areas, but my friend doesn't understand me. I don't think he ever did. So the explanation is I keep coming back to the old nursery rhyme. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Now, most of you say, well, that's lovely. I remember that when you were 3 or something. But it is a more truth than falsehood, even today when you're an adult. Do you think I'm crazy? My friend thinks I'm often crazy. However, he's well versed in many of the same textbooks that I am. So if he was to listen to this, I'm sure it would help him come to understand why sometimes I act so contrary. Contrary to what? Well, contrary to how I was acting a day or two before. Why is it that when I make a video on this channel of mine, sometimes I act one way and sometimes I act so much the other? Because I do. Life is but a dream. What we call consensus reality is a shared dream amongst the people that are having this dream. Non-ordinary states of reality are what you as an individual might have. Pretty much every time you lie down and fall asleep and you have what we call a dream, you're having a non-ordinary reality experience. Because the other people in your house and in your city and in the world are not part of your dream. And then when you wake up and you're in your bedroom, in your house, in your wherever your house is, generally speaking, most people return to consensus reality. If you don't return to consensus reality, and you start acting bizarre, a psychiatrist might say you have a psychosis. The psychiatrist wants you to return to their version of consensus reality. Because they consider it a diseased reality, the one you're experiencing. Mostly because, one, you might be acting very bizarre, and people are looking at you going, there's something wrong with that one. Or two, you might be enjoying yourself far more than everyone else in the psychiatrist reality, and it kind of pisses off the psychiatrist that you're so happy and joyful when everyone else is supposed to be morose and serious about the horrible problems we have. So there must be something wrong with you, because everyone else is miserable and you're not miserable. There's something wrong with you. So says the psychiatrist. But life is but a dream. And if you're going to be someone who is working to change the dream, why? Well, you look around and everyone is very serious, concerned about problems, unhappy, morose. You might say, well, this dream is really more of a nightmare than a pleasant dream. And, is there a way that I can change the dream? And then you might go searching for people who say, I found a way to change the dream. And then you might gather up as much information about that method and try it for yourself and see if it works. And then, if your teacher is someone available, you might say, teacher, I read what you had to say in your book, and I watched some of your video lectures, and I tried what you said. And despite what you said about this changing the dream, it didn't work. And then the teacher might tell you, yeah, I know. And what do you mean? Well, the teacher might say, I know, because my own personal experience was I had to work with these principles of my technique for a really long time before they started to work. In some cases, I found out that I was making errors. So even though I thought I was using the technique, looking back, I was making major errors. And I had to work through these different errors. And eventually, the technique worked for me, but I put in 15 years. It wasn't like I heard about this and then it worked. It took me 15 years of trial and error and then reflecting on, okay, this should work, but it hasn't worked. What have I got wrong? And I had to do this for 15 years. 15 years. So if you explain to me what you're doing, I will listen and see if you can, and I will see if you can give me some clues as to where you're making your mistake. Or maybe you need to reread my third book, because in my third book, I discuss this issue. Oh, you got three. Yeah, yeah. You just picked up one book. Yeah. I picked up like the first book. Oh, yeah. Well, after 15 years, I've got quite a few books to talk about this technique. And, the first one's was the first one. But there's other books because I had other things come up that I had to put down to help explain to people who come along why the technique's not working. Because, I found in myself and some of my early students certain errors, and they're probably going to be commonplace among all the humans. So, that's why I wrote them down and I made like 7 or 8 books. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't want to buy them all. Well, now you know. So, you better fork out some money and buy my other books and get studying. So, as far as changing the dream, I've read many different techniques about changing the dream. So, if one of the techniques that I've read about is not working, um, usually I'll try something else. And then if nothing is working, and I'm tired, usually what I'll do is I'll go to bed and see if I can fall asleep. Because usually when I'm so exhausted, I just don't have any more energy for it. Now, because there are so many changes in this world right now, usually I use my intuition to go to my bookshelf to see which particular technique the universe wants me to study and refresh myself on. And I go from technique to technique. It's just the universe telling me, we're going to play with this game, we're going to play with that game, in order to change the dream. Because I don't want everyone to be miserable and morose and serious about all the problems. I really want everyone to be enjoying their dream. And sometimes, when I'm in a certain frame of mind, I'm not enjoying my dream at all, and it comes out through my video. But my friend Rumpelstiltskin always told me, if I'm in a bad mood, don't be too concerned about it. And I tell you the same thing. If I appear on screen to be having a bad day, more than likely I am, but don't be too concerned about it. Because if I'm having a bad day, it means I'm having a bad day, but it also means I'm either working on changing my dream, or I'm waiting for one of my friends, like Rumpelstiltskin, or a book or something, to bop me on the head and say, hey, don't give up on the idea of changing the dream for the better.